CJ Flyer back with another YouTube video. Now, when you think Dallas Mavericks, if you are not a hardcore Dallas Mavericks fan, the first players you may think of are the ones you see on your screen here. You might think Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, perhaps even Derek Lively. However, what the national media will not put an emphasis on is the bench of the Dallas Mavericks and the other players that are available when players like Luka are out with injury, when Klay is out with injury, when Lively's out with an illness. We're talking Quentin Grimes. We're talking Spencer Dinwiddie. Heck, even sometimes Maxey. We're talking about Najee Marshall, the Knife. We're talking about P.J. Washington. And if we look at the last couple games from the Dallas Mavericks, this is the box score from the Monday night game against the Atlanta Hawks. You see with Luka out, with Klay out with his injury, Derek Lively going out after playing one half. Look at this. Najee Marshall, 22 points, his third 20-plus point game in a row at this point. 9 of 12 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3. We got P.J. Washington, 1 steal and 3 blocks, doing what he does on defense. We got Jaden Hardy balling out, 8 of 18 from the field, getting his points. Kyrie, of course, leading the way in scoring. No surprise there. Spencer Dinwiddie, a redemption arc for him in the next couple games. After I made that video earlier this week, which has aged very poorly, which I'm very glad it did, talking about how perhaps Dinwiddie was getting way too many minutes, more minutes than he should be getting. Well, I was wrong, clearly. 6 of 11 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3. Outstanding scoring from this team. Now you might say, hey, this is against an Atlanta Hawks team that is looking kind of rough right now. Sure, okay, let's go into the next game. At home, New York Knicks, considered one of the best teams in the East. Perhaps not record-wise right now, but they are in the top 3, top 4 in the East, and considered by some to be the second best in the East come playoff time. Najee Marshall, again, now it's his 4th 20-plus point game in a row. By the way, Klay's still out, Luka's still out. P.J. Washington, nearly 20 points. All just scratching. Oh, so close. So close to having a 20-point game here. 3 of 3 from 3. Quentin Grimes coming out. He didn't get to play against the Atlanta Hawks. He was out with that illness. 21 points from him. We got Kyrie, 23 points from him. We got Spencer Dinwiddie, another 20-point performance. 8 of 11 from the field. 9 assists. This team is stacked. They got a very deep bench. More than anyone else would let you believe. And yes, I'm very biased, of course, being a fan of this team. But the stats don't lie. The numbers don't lie. The wins don't lie. This team is going off. It's insane to watch. And I could not be more grateful. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. Thankful for this team. Thankful for basketball. Man, it is an exciting time as a Dallas Mavericks fan, if not also as an NBA fan. And I just want to remind everyone that's been watching the videos, way back here during this 4-game losing streak, I made the comment about how I'm not worried. People are going to overreact. But if you look at the 4 losses, they're all within 3 points or less. 3 of the 4 losses are to teams that are considered good, like quality teams. Durant with Phoenix. Now, Phoenix's record has dwindled a bit recently. That's because Durant's been hurt. Beal's been hurt. But Denver, good team. Their record's dwindled a little bit because Jokic was out. Warriors, they've been solid. Look, 3 of these 4 losses, close losses, obviously heartbreakers. And look, I mean, you don't want to lose these type of games come postseason time. But getting this out the way early in the season, I'm not too worried about this team. And then they turn it around, and look at this. They get a tough win without Luka in Oklahoma City. Granted, Oklahoma City didn't have their bigs, but still, huge win without your star player. They get the win at Denver without Luka again, and this time Denver did have their star player and all their roster outside of Aaron Gordon. They had Jokic playing, they had Westbrook out there, they had Jamal Murray out there, and then you got these last couple wins, and then this loss to the Miami Heat. It's another one of those games that feels similar to this one. Obviously, 5 points, bigger margin, but this was an overtime loss. This was a loss in which had Kyrie made had made both of his free throws, he made 1 of 2 at the very end of regulation. Had he made both, there's a higher likelihood that the Mavs end up winning that game. I'm not trying to make excuses for the team, but I'm just saying these 5 losses, these weren't like, lose by 10 points type of games, blowout type of games, you're not looking good against the other team type of games. These games are close, these are winnable games, and it makes me excited about this team. I'd rather see losses like this than see losses by 10 to 20 points like we see from some of the other teams around the league. This just gives me more optimism for the future of this team going into the postseason. And if we look at the upcoming games, because right now a lot of folks are going to say, well, this Mavs team's sitting in 8th. Why are you so excited? They're not that good. Look at all these other good teams in the West. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The record's not going to reflect how good they are right now, but that's about to turn around. You look at the upcoming opponents, at the Utah Jazz, at Portland Trailblazers. Now, home against Memphis, that's going to be a tough one. At the Wizards, at the Raptors. 4 of these 5 teams are some of the worst teams record-wise in the league right now. We look at Utah Jazz, second to last in the West. Portland, third to last in the West. Toronto, third to last in the East. And then Washington, last in the East and my goodness, last in the NBA. Look, some people without the context might think this is a hot take, but I think by Christmas we're going to see the Mavs in the top 4 in the Western Conference standings. They're only 3.5 games back to the lead right now. And heck, top 4 might be too conservative of a take. I'd even go as far as saying top 3. I don't even feel like that's aggressive. You look at this, 4 of the next 5 games are very winnable. Again, just with the context, that these are the worst teams in the league as it stands right now. Memphis Grizzlies, they're no slouch, but playing them at home gives them get that home crowd boost. So I think it's possible they could win this game, but I'm not going to, sit here and say, oh, it's a guaranteed win. Whereas these other 4 teams, I think there's more of a likelihood. Yes, the Mavs lost to Utah a couple weeks ago, but it's one of those things where I don't think you do that twice. And then Clippers. Clippers are not as bad of a team as I think we may have thought they would be, so I could see this going 1 win, 1 loss for this doubleheader right here. Home against Portland, I think that's a dub. Minnesota's struggling right now, but that could be a loss. And so you look at that and you say, from a more conservative approach here, win 4 of the next 5, win 1 of the 2 here, and win 1 of the 2 here. That's what? That's 6 and 3. I mean, that puts you in the driver's seat. I think you're in the top 3, if not top 4 in the West at that point. So I'm pretty optimistic about that. You let me know in the comments, do you think this is a hot take or not? I don't think it is. I think with the upcoming schedule, by Christmas time, we could see top 3, top 4 in the West Mavs. And all of a sudden, the spotlight will be back on them. And people are going to get really, really excited. So I'm looking forward to it, especially since I've been calling it out since the beginning of the month, saying I'm not worried. And people were overreacting. And granted, I had a bit of an overreaction about Dinwiddie's horrible performance against the Miami Heat. And I am glad that take aged poorly. And yes, that was a very clickbaity title saying Spencer Dinwiddie is he the next Tim Hardaway Jr. But some added context that I don't think I mentioned in that video. One, Tim Hardaway Jr.'s contract was not a vet min contract. He was getting paid a decent amount, and Spencer Dinwiddie is on a minimum contract. So that right there already invalidates that. Like that says no to that question right off the bat. That's your answer right there. Dinwiddie's on a minimum contract. Tim Hardaway Jr. was not. That right there just ends it. That ends the discussion, in my opinion. As long as Jason Kidd is not, playing a player like that excessive minutes. But in the last 2 games, he's had to step up in his role because of Luka being out, because of Klay being out, and he's done a tremendous job. He had a bad night against Miami, but bad nights are going to happen. That was an overreaction. Apologies to Spencer Dinwiddie. I saw a post. I wish I had it pulled up right now. It was like a Spencer Dinwiddie apology form. I posted somewhere on Dallas Mavericks forums. That was some good stuff. But anyways, yeah. So I think the Mavs will move up. And then if we look at the NBA Cup standings, I know a lot of people don't care about this. I think it's kind of cool, but the players are incentivized for financial reasons, and that's pretty much it. I don't think they care otherwise. But the Mavs are in the driver's seat right now to make it in as the 4th seed in the West for the single elimination bracket for the NBA Cup. Will they do it? We'll see. But they have to put up a good win margin against the Grizzlies, I would think. But you never know. You never know. The problem is Thunder still have 2 games to play. And although I don't think the Lakers' win margin will be that big, playing the Utah Jazz at home, they could easily put up a 20, 30-point win margin. So I don't know that the Mavs hold on to this wild card spot, but we'll just have to see. Just something fun to look at. But yeah, you let me know about your opinion of the Dallas Mavericks in the comments down below. I think people should be scared of them. If they're a fan of another team, keep your eyes on them because they're about to make a run for it towards the top of the Western Conference standings here, going into December and going towards Christmas time. So, looking at the upcoming games today, we start a little bit early at 11 a.m. Central Time. NBA Cup, we got Knicks at Hornets. Oh, by the way, I have to pull this up. We've been making a comeback on our predictions. For those of you that are new to the channel, we make daily NBA game predictions every single day. And then we compare my predictions of who's going to win to the FanDuel Sportsbook betting odds. I'm not promoting or encouraging you to use FanDuel Sportsbook. I'm not partnered or affiliated with any sports betting, sports gambling site. If you're going to do any of sports betting, sports gambling, do it responsibly. I am just sharing my opinion for fun and comparing to FanDuel Sportsbook for fun. And this is not betting or financial advice. We've been keeping score. And so far, if I scroll all the way to the top, we were down 11 games to FanDuel. Now we're only down 3. We've been making a comeback this past week, and picking the Mavericks for a few of these games has helped tremendously. So now we will be picking the games for today. Let me go back to the NBA schedule here. So Knicks at Hornets. I got the Knicks winning this one on the road. They're going to make a comeback after that horrible loss in Dallas. Cavs at Hawks. I'll give this one, man, if I remember correctly, the Hawks are they not in contention for, yes, they are. They are in contention, potentially, for a wild card spot, if not the leader of their group. Again, I don't know how much they really care. It's, financial incentives at most for the players. But the Cavs, I think I'll take the Cavs on the road for this one. Obviously, they are the better team. It's just a matter of who's going to win day to day. That's what we're picking here. No team is going to go 82-0, not even the Celtics. Pelicans at Grizzlies. Pelicans, although they got DeJounte Murray back, still struggling. I'll take the Grizzlies. Magic at Nets. Nets have been winning some games. They are really hard to kind of pick and choose, whether they're going to win or lose. As soon as they got Cam Thomas going out, they had, I don't even remember the name of the guy, but they had some no-name bench guy come up and score, 30 points against the Suns in Phoenix and win the game. So it's kind of hard to figure out, what to even make of them. I'm picking the Magic, though. That's the safe bet. Clippers and Timberwolves. Timberwolves have been struggling a bit recently. I don't see them losing this game, though. The eyeballs are all on them. Anthony Edwards is very aware of the situation. Things are getting a little toxic, but I just don't see them losing again. I feel like that's rock bottom at that point. You can only go up from here. I think the Timberwolves get the victory. National TV crowd. All the eyeballs are on them. I think they'll turn things around for today's game. Pistons and Pacers. Take the Pacers at home. Raptors and Heat. We'll take the Heat at home. Celtics and Bulls. I could actually see the Bulls pulling this one out, believe it or not, but we'll take the Celtics. Thunders and Lakers take the Thunder. Kings and Blazers. The Kings have really been struggling recently, and now they're on the road against the Blazers. Is it wrong to pick the Blazers for an upset? I could see it. This could be a really bad pick, but I'm going to pick the Blazers to win. Kings have been struggling. We'll take the Blazers. Let's look at the odds here. Knicks favored by 13. Cavs favored. Memphis favored. Orlando favored. Minnesota favored. Indiana favored. Miami favored. Boston favored. OKC favored. And no surprise here, Sacramento's favored. We're just going to go with the Blazers. just because, again, on any given night, any team could win. I'm doing this because it's fun to keep track and just to kind of show, no one else, I don't think anyone else is really doing this. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below and click one of the videos now on your screen for some more NBA discussion.